I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. Happy Thanksgiving Eve, everybody. If you haven't defrosted your turkey yet, you may want to get on that pretty soon. All right, this is Dave Ramsey. I don't think that's a good idea. Let's check this out. And I want to thank you so much for joining me. Here we go, folks.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
What's up, Madison?
Hi, Madison.
Hello.
How we doing?
Good. I have a question. So I'm wondering if I should sell my personal car and just use my boyfriend's company car, his personal car.
I can tell you right now. Oh, I just love these videos. Right now, I can tell you without even having to listen to the next 9 minutes of it, the answer is no. You see, now how do I know this? Because I used to be an auto insurance claims adjuster, and I did auto insurance for business claims, private claims, condo claims, you name it, everything but casualty. And casualty is the medical end of insurance. I can tell you right now, no. She should not cancel her auto insurance and use her boyfriend's car. And I'm just going to just show you how much I actually know. I'm not even going to play anything right this second. You see, here's the thing. And I've had a few years of experience on this. First off, she is not insured by the company her boyfriend works for. In other words, what she's trying to do is she's trying to skirt around the law, so to speak. And she's thinking, hey, I can save some money. I just already know where this video is going. I knew it in 18 seconds. She's thinking she can save some money and just use her boyfriend's company car. Well, the problem is her boyfriend's company, let's just call it McDonald's, okay? The McDonald company has not authorized her to be a driver on their insurance policy. That's the first problem. Another major problem is what is going to happen if she should get into an accident. Okay, she gets into an accident with a boyfriend's car. She doesn't realize this, but the car can be, and rightfully so, reported as stolen, right? This car gets into an accident. There's an unnamed driver. It's not related to the boyfriend. It's not related to the company that owns the car. It's nobody on the title. In other words, yes, if they really want to get nasty, they can report the car as stolen. And then let's talk about the boyfriend and his job. All right. If you'd like to see if she would like to see her boyfriend out of a job. Oh, and this played 11 hours ago. So this is Thanksgiving Eve on Wednesday. So it looks like this played early Wednesday morning. Okay. Early this morning. He, can easily be fired. All right. For having her drive the car. And here's the other kicker. Because she is not, and I'm assuming, okay, 18 seconds in, because she is not a named driver of the car, okay, and her boyfriend allowed her to use the car without the company's permission, the insurance company can deny the claim and sue her and or his boyfriend. There you go. Let's see where this goes. It's called a few years of auto insurance adjustment for you.
To pay off some of my debt.
I told you, skirting that law. She's like, oh, honey, I don't need to use my car. I don't need to use mine. I'll just cancel my insurance. Her liability is not with her boyfriend's insurance company. Oh, the tea is hot today. Oh, the tea is hot. She has no coverage. She can't make herself covered under her boyfriend's company policy magically. Now, I'm going to say it's a little bit different when it's a private policy. Okay. I buy insurance. Now, here's something a lot of people don't know. Okay. And this holds true for most insurance companies. I have a vehicle. I'm just going to use some simple terms here to help people follow this. Let's pretend I have a child. Okay. I have the vehicle. I'm mommy. And I give child permission to drive my vehicle. And I say to child, honey, you are the only person that's supposed to drive it. Don't let anybody else drive it. And daughter looks at me and goes, oh, yes, mommy, of course. Well, daughter doesn't follow the rules. Daughter, gives the vehicle to her friend to drive just around the block to go to the grocery store, okay, the daughter's friend gets into an accident, that all comes back on my policy because my daughter gave permission to a third person, her friend, to drive my car. I'm responsible, okay, because I'm the mother and I gave my daughter permission. Now, again, I haven't been in insurance for over 20 years, but I doubt the rules have changed much. But I would have to explain that to parents. I remember a case like that. And I had to explain to the mother. It was a true case. And she was furious because she gave the keys to her daughter. Her daughter gave the keys to somebody else without the mother's permission. And the mother wanted to go on her daughter's friend's insurance policy because mother's like, why is this going on my policy? It went on your policy, mommy, because you gave permission to the daughter. And whomever the daughter gave permission to, okay, it defaults. But that's private insurance. Okay, when we're talking company insurance, that gets a whole lot more tricky. And the rules and regulations, let me tell you, you give an insurance company a reason to deny you, okay, and everybody pretty much knows they will. So she's being stupid, and I am going to say stupid because that's the most appropriate word I know how to use. She is being absolutely stupid. If she thinks she's going to save a few bucks, drive her boyfriend's company car. She's not a named driver on the car at all. There is no coverage. There is absolutely no coverage. Dumb. Absolutely dumb. This is when trying to save a few dollars does not pay off.
Sell your car to use your boyfriend's company car.
Correct.
I don't think that's a good idea.
This doesn't end well.
Yeah, because this is where.
Remember in prior videos, I have said, and I know I say it all the time, and I will continue saying it, people, most financial problems, aside from the medical, and aside from when somebody hurts us, okay, like you get into a rear end accident or something like that, okay, most of our financial problems are caused by our own decisions. Whether it be because we're trying to cut corners or we are trying to, we're cutting corners so we can save a few bucks. That's where most of our financial problems are born and brought on by us. We birth our financial problems. Most of them, not all, but most.
Where my mind goes, I'm going to just say it. What happens if you get in an accident in your boyfriend's company car, which means the company's paying for him to use it for work transportation?
He is out of a job. The insurance company will deny the claim because it was an unauthorized driver, and the insurance company could actually do two things. The insurance company could pay the claim and then sue the boyfriend and or girlfriend, come after her insurance. But chances are they're not going to do that because insurance companies, they are pretty cut and dry with their rules. If you're not a named insured on that policy, they wash their hands of you. So I can pretty much tell you the insurance company is going to deny it and say this young lady was not an authorized driver. All right. So now what's the company going to have to do? The company's going to have to sue the boyfriend and or girlfriend. Oh, yes, that's the way it works, people. That's the way it works.
So I have coverage through his work. We actually work for the same company.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She needs to be explicitly a named policy driver. Explicitly. Okay? I worked for a major insurance company in Oregon. Okay, 20 years back. I was in my late 20s. All right. I worked for a big insurance company. A whole bunch of people in the building. They were married. They were boyfriend, girlfriends. Okay. Whatever. Just because you work for a company does not automatically mean by default you are given the same insurance coverage and protections when it comes to vehicles. And typically when it comes to company vehicles, you are matched to a very specific vehicle. Joe can drive this van that looks like this and this license plate. Susie drives this van with this license plate. These vehicles are very assigned. What she's trying to do is she's trying to be cheap. At least she admitted, she's trying to save a few bucks. But I mean, she's really trying to be cheap. So she's going through her head going, but I think this can work. No, it cannot work.
Do you have coverage on his vehicle, or you have coverage because you just work there?
I can guarantee you she doesn't know. Because if she knew, she wouldn't even have to call into the show. Hey, it's just a point.
Like you're listed on his vehicle.
Correct. On both of them. So his personal car and his company car.
She still needs to get clearance from the company. The fact that and I'm telling you this as an having been an insurance adjuster, okay? The fact that she's calling into a radio show to see if it's a good idea for her to for her to do this little shenanigan of hers tells you why is she, that should be a red flag. Why is she not going to her manager and saying, hey, I would like to make sure I'm covered, yada, yada. She's, a tangled web we weave.
I have coverage.
Okay, so it's completely kosher.
Yes.
Really? I would take a pause on that. Because if it's kosher, there's no need for her to call in. Seriously, why would she need to call into a radio show? For what purpose? Yeah, it's all covered. Okay, great. Then why do you need to call into a radio show? See, this is something I used to tell people when I was a claims adjuster. If you have any questions, if you have any doubts about your insurance policy, you go to that insurance company or to your employer. You don't call a radio show and then see if this is a good way to save money. Now, unless I am interpreting this entire thing wrong, all right? If they've given her the golden blessing and said, honey, go right ahead, you don't need coverage, yada, yada, why is she calling into a radio show? She's smart enough. She can figure out if it's cheaper or not.
And my car essentially is just sitting in the driveway right now. And I don't touch it. So I don't know if I'm losing money by it just sitting there.
And speaking of that, some states, I know Oregon is one. Okay, I've not been a claims adjuster here in Florida, so I'm not going to say whether or not it's true to Florida. But I know that Oregon, even a car that is sitting around has to be insured. Yeah, even a car that is sitting around. You don't drive it. It must. I know in the state of Oregon, when I did this, again, it's been over 20 years, so unless they've changed the laws, all right, even a car that was considered not in use had to have insurance. Yeah. Why? Because it is still a liability, period. A vehicle is a liability whether it's sitting and parked or whether it's moving. Okay. Now, I didn't have to have as much insurance, but I had to carry some level of insurance. And I was very surprised because I took the bus when I lived in Portland, Oregon. I took the bus. And I remember actually going, well, I actually called my agent at the time and I said, can I just go ahead and let the car just sit and let it run out of insurance? And they said, no, you cannot. You cannot just let the car sit. And here was part of the problem. One, the car had to maintain some level of insurance. But also, if you stop your insurance, okay, maybe the farmer's agent was lying to me and I really could have just let it go. But I'm just going to go with what I was told. The other problem is that if you stop your insurance, and this is something that I was told, if you stop your insurance and then you go back to get insurance, they can give you you can be charged a higher premium. Why? Because you went for a period of time without insurance. Yeah, I told you insurance, if they can screw you over, they will. Okay, no love lost leaving the industry. I liked the job being a claims adjuster. I actually enjoyed that. But as far as the industry itself, but yeah, so he said, you can go ahead. He goes, if you want, all right. He said, you can keep the car parked, but it's going to cost you dearly if you stop that insurance. Because you notice whenever you change insurance companies, have you ever had them say to you, has there ever been a time when you've been without insurance? In other words, lapsed. Not lapsed necessarily because you were behind on your bill, but just simply you didn't have insurance coverage. And if you go, yes, okay, guess what? That's just one more excuse for them to raise your rates. So just things to think about,
There. I still owe on it, so I'm still making payments, but I don't know if it's beneficial to just have my car sitting here and not use it, or if I should sell it.
And also, aren't there things about if you don't use a car, it breaks down early or something like that because you're not oil and lubing the engine, yada yada?
I think that's
remotely.
different. I think that's independent from him.
Okay.
I'm more nervous about you. You're going to be very exposed.
Okay.
And I know, and when I say this, you're going to go, not us. It would never happen.
No, I know. I understand.
But you know what I mean?
And that's
Like,
why I wanted to.
You know, one thing about being in the insurance industry, everybody says, oh, it's never going to happen to me. And I go, that's why it's called an accident, because it wasn't planned. Otherwise, it would be called a planned event.
Yeah.
if you're my sister or you're my daughter or you're just one of my buddies who's a woman, I would tell you, if he marries you, great. Y'all make financial decisions together and y'all go in and share a car and all that.
Yeah.
If it's a boyfriend, I mean, Jade and I would not have jobs if every well-laid plan ended right. And so
And
you're selling your car,
Yeah.
exposing yourself to him and his company, which happens to be your company too. It's just a lot of, you are hitching your wagon to some unsecure horses and getting dragged into the wild, right?
And she's risking, you know, along with that, she's risking herself being dragged into a suit. It's not worth it. Not worth it.
Right? That just makes me nervous.
What's your car worth that's sitting in the driveway?
About 9,000.
9,000. Is it in it? Is it paid off, or you have payments on it still?
I'm still making payments, so that's my biggest thing. Is I'm paying insurance, I'm making my monthly payments, and I'm not using it.
And how much do you still owe on it?
About 5,000.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it.
I'd pay it
Keep it.
off.
Yeah, keep it and pay it off.
How quickly can you pay it off?
So that's kind of the second part of this. I have some debt, and I just don't know how to approach my debt and what's the most important thing to pay off first.
Okay, let's figure that out. What list your debts for me, just however they come to mind.
Okay, so I have credit card, which is about.
Hold up, folks. I realized I'm going to put this, because it's a little bit longer. My camera's in the way, so I'm like looking around my screen here. I'm going to speed this up to 1.25. There we go. All right. Now we're set. All right, here we go.
3,000.
Okay.
I have house. So we actually have a house. So do you want me to include my mortgage?
Who's listed on the
Both
loan?
of us.
Both of you are listed on it?
Yes.
Oh, what does Dave Ramsey say about buying property together before we're married? If I remember, I try really hard to remember, okay? I will link the story that I did just a few days ago. It was a Dave Ramsey episode, and they bought a house together. It did not work. The relationship broke up, and now they're trying to sort all this. These people have got to be in their 20s.
All right, we'll get to that in a minute. All right.
Madison Courthouse this weekend.
Yeah, we'll deal with that.
Protect yourself.
Yes. Okay, what
So
else?
then appliances, we have about 4,000.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, keep going.
And then my car was about 5,000. And then I have medical debt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big one. And I've paid a lot of it down. And that's about 1,500 now.
Okay, so it's only 1,500. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the mortgage, just so I know, what is it?
It's about 1,900 a month.
Yeah, but how much
Jesus!
is it, the total?
So total is about 200,000.
200,000. Okay.
$1,900 a month, $200,000 mortgage. So basically, all they need is the baby carriage, and they've got themselves a house. This is like people who are playing house. That's kind of the way I consider it. You're playing house.
Okay. Like John said, you guys need to get married.
You're playing house. Just do it.
And this is not like for
Yay! Snaps for me. I was right. You're playing house.
for religious reasons. This is for you to protect yourself legally, because if it hits the fan, this is going to be so messy and so crazy that you're protecting yourself by making sure that this is all legally wrapped up in a marriage.
A gal who's trying to cut corners on her auto insurance, probably I'm not really surprised. They're just playing house. I don't know. It's just that doesn't surprise me.
Does he have any debt?
He does not.
He does not. Okay.
Ooh.
So until you get married, but you're getting married this weekend.
Maybe that's why he's not marrying her. Don't you? And you gotta love it when Jade and John are like, "You're gonna get married this weekend." No, they're not. They're not gonna do that. And I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet my tangerine juice. He doesn't want to get married. He'll play house, but he doesn't want to get married. Maybe he thinks she has too much debt. I don't know. Maybe he has cold feet. Who knows? Maybe she has cold feet.
We're gonna list these debts, and I'm laughing, but I'm being serious. Like, get yourself the certificate, go online and do the certificate, and then you guys plan a party for later.
They ain't doing it, Jade. You're wasting your breath.
And have champagne and have it fun. But for now, let's get this legal stuff locked up. Is there any reason that he would not want to do that?
So when we graduated college, we sat down and we had a conversation, and it really came down to what do we want to do first. And I'll be honest, we both agreed that we would rather go with the house first.
That's dumb. That's really dumb. Because if the relationship does not work out, like the video, I will try to link at the end. They were engaging. These two yahoos, they're not even engaged from what I can tell. The video that I did, just, like I've told you guys, they all run in. I've seen so many videos now that they kind of run into each other as far as timeline. At least the one that I did, I believe they were actually, they were engaged. They were fiancé, fully engaged. Almost, if I'm correct, ready to go down the altar. And then boom, at the very last minute, it all changed. And they had bought a house, the whole 9 yards. And now they were having to untangle it.
Because
we wanted to live somewhere. So our landlord actually told us about 30 days before our lease was ending that he was no longer going to be renting and he was selling the house, so we didn't have a bunch of time to really find a place to live. So,
why don't you, going down to the courthouse takes an afternoon.
that's when we started looking for houses, and we lived with his parents for a few months.
So
One of them has cold feet. One of them just doesn't want to get married. That's what I think.
you solved a 30-day with a 30-year commitment?
Yes.
and that still doesn't really answer my question. My question was, if you said, hey, I want to get married this weekend, so we're protecting both of our butts in this marriage, is there any reason that he would not want to do that? That was my question.
I don't think so. I think it's more...
There's your answer right there. I don't even have to listen to the rest of what she says. He's not interested in getting married. I gather that she would do it, but I'm sensing that he would not.
of just the traditional essence of
Y'all
wanting to
busted
have
up
a
I was
tradition,
going to say,
yo.
y'all don't care about traditions.
Tradition's gone.
It's not those traditions.
Y'all
That's
guys
okay.
borrowed money on a dishwasher. Y'all have thrown tradition out the window.
But I guess what I'm trying to get at is I want to make sure that he understands that we're not playing house forever.
Oh, he gets it. He doesn't want to marry her. Sometimes you just have to say what it is. He's not interested in getting married. I can tell you that right now. They've already had this discussion about going to the courthouse. So they're kind of wasting their breath telling them, hey, go to the courthouse. They're not going to go to the courthouse. He's not interested. I sense that she might, but he's not. And the big reason I sense it is, like she said, he's debt-free. She's not. Just a thought. At least she doesn't have student loans.
And
Yeah.
honestly, legally, you need to be protected, and you need to make him understand that, hey, if this goes south, there is nothing that is going to, there is no way that this is going to be decided fairly because there's no marriage here. So if you guys break up and you cheat on him or he cheats on you or you just dislike each other, you have a house together. And he can just up and leave you with that debt, or you can just up and leave him with that debt, or he, you know what I'm saying? There's so much tied up.
No, I understand,
Here's what makes me
yeah.
scared. Here's what makes me scared. And we're
John gets scared a lot.
consciously leaning on the other side of the seesaw because you're on the happy side. Oh my gosh, look how great. It's awesome.
Right.
We're on the other side. If something goes sideways in your job, if something goes sideways in your relationship, and you have sold your car and you're just driving around town in his car, you don't have a home. You don't have a car. You don't have a job. And here's what's important about that. You know that risk, and I'm going to believe you, that risk is very, very small. But do you know what doesn't know that risk profile? Your amygdala. The part of your brain that is designed to keep you safe all the time. It knows one tiny misstep, and you are homeless, carless, unsafe, without groceries. And
Well, isn't that a nice way to go into the holiday season? You're homeless, carless, unsafe, and without groceries. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
your body would be failing you if it let you sleep all night in this current situation.
Oh, they've been sleeping just fine. I think they've actually have already discussed this stuff. I think they've actually discussed it already. I think it's part immaturity, part naivety, part denial. I think it's covering many things. They've already thought about this.
Your body would be failing you if it let you have deep, connected, intimate moments with your boyfriend because it's trying to not die. And so when we talk about like, dude, go do this now, your whole body goes, whew. And if the thought of getting everything lined up so that you could feel safe, if that makes you feel more anxious and more scared, then y'all go see a pre-marriage counselor tomorrow because y'all need to deal with that reality. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They're going to be too busy out buying dish appliances. What do they say? They have $4,000 in that. Why do you need $4,000 in appliances, by the way? There's no reason to have $4,000 in appliances. Not in their situation. I mean, you can have $4,000 in appliances. I just wouldn't do it under their circumstance.
Yeah.
And so it's us loving you because we just see the other side of this thing going sideways.
And no one plans for that, by the way.
Nobody plans for that. And I wouldn't wish that on you for one
Not at
second.
all.
I want this to work out perfectly, and I want it happily ever after and all that stuff.
Right.
But, whoo, man, you're exposed.
But to answer your money questions, we've just told you how to handle your anxiety and your relational questions. Once you get married this weekend, you guys are listing the step from smallest to largest, and now you're combining and getting after this together, right? With your combined income, combined efforts, your debt now becomes his debt. Both of your paychecks now become our paychecks. Both of your debt becomes our debt, and you guys move through this and you process it together. If you're not going to get married, if you're like, hey, I don't care what you guys say, then you pay this off by yourself, and you need to look into a way of getting one of your names off of that mortgage.
All right. So we all know they're not getting married this weekend, and they're probably not getting married next weekend. They're probably not getting married for Christmas either, okay? But the exposure is huge. And the fact that she's having to even call in to find out if she should cancel her car insurance and whatnot, that to me is a huge red flag. And like I said, as a claims adjuster, never ever expose yourself like that, ever. And auto insurance is one of those things. Auto liability insurance is that's an area where I just don't mess around with, and she says that she's safely on the policy and she can do all this and it's just fine, but I don't 100% believe it or buy it. That's just my personal opinion. I am Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. I would like to thank you for joining me this evening. I do hope you will consider subscribing, and you have a great Thanksgiving. I may or may not post. I swear, I just got this smartphone. If I can't forget these, my kitty ears keep hitting the boom, so I hope it's all right. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.